Welcome back to the Amy NFL Show.
It is the final week for in-season picks. The Super Bowl, the big one, Eagles versus Chiefs in Arizona. But we will be doing some videos during the off-season. Comment down below what kind of segments and video ideas you'd like us to do. We'll be doing a season review, mock draft, stuff like that.
And be sure to subscribe. But before we continue, let's bring in our special guest. All right, joining us this week for Super Bowl week is none other than Eagles super fan, Dave Carroll.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Dave, how did you become a super Eagles fan?
I would say it started ever since I watched sports. My dad was born and raised in Philly. And I can remember watching the Sixers beat the Lakers in the early 80s to Ron Jaworski. And ever since, that's the only team I've known to cheer for is the Eagles, and in respect to all the other Philadelphia teams.
Not just football, Philly all across the board.
Through and through.
Nice.
Let's go.
All right, for the Chiefs' keys to victory, I got 3 things on my list. The first one is that the offensive line has to hold long enough to give Mahomes time. Philly's defensive line is talented. They're going to put pressure on eventually, but they just have to hold. Chiefs' offensive line has to hold long enough. Second part is that the defensive line has to put pressure onto Hurts. If they let him sit back there, or if they don't hold the running game in check, it'll be a long night for the Chiefs. And the third key to victory for the Chiefs is that they're going to have to make those busted plays work, because Philly is eventually going to get pressure. Mahomes is going to have to pull off some magic like he usually does. I believe he was 16 for 16 outside the pocket in the AFC Championship game. He's going to have to do some magic outside the pocket, because Philly is going to come with pressure eventually, and Mahomes is going to have to do Mahomes things. Those are my 3 keys to victory. How about you?
I've got one key to victory, and it's a big one. Mahomes and Kelsey need to connect. If they don't connect, they're not going to win this game. Kelsey does great with Mahomes. Mahomes does great with Kelsey. You saw the impact that they had on each other when Tyreek Hill left. They need to do something together if they want to win this game.
I've got a few as well. I would say first thing is they have to attack the middle of the field of the Eagles defense. Lots of crossers. I could see Kelsey just Mr. Unguardable. They got to slow down the Eagles pass rush for sure. I think they do that with a short passing game, get the running backs involved at the backfield.
Yeah.
And, no turnovers. You can't give the ball back to Philly. I just think that they're going to be controlling the time in possession long enough to you just can't turn it over. And then they're going to have to hold the Eagles defense to longer third downs, forcing Jalen Hurts to throw on third down. I think those are the keys to victory for the Chiefs.
Let's go.
I got 2 for the Eagles' key to victory. Their offensive line needs to play like they have every game. They've got a great offensive line. All 5 are good, starting with Jason Kelsey all the way to Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson. They're all great. They need to not let up. Don't give any pressure to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is best when he's got no pressure in his face. The Eagles' O-line needs to play like they have. My second one, their secondary can't let up. They can't let anything deep. Mahomes is too good with that arm of his. You can't let anything deep. Force him to take the short dump plays and make it 3rd down and 5, 3rd down and 6, 3rd and mid. Don't make it 1st and goal at the 10. Eagles secondary needs to hold up.
I would say with the Eagles, they need to run the ball. Jalen Hurts really needs to participate as much as he can for them to really make it hard on that defensive line, those linebackers, just like they did with the 49ers. I would say, most importantly, that offensive line needs to be physical, as they have been all year. They need to move that line of scrimmage forward. They need some splash plays. I think whether it's DeMonte Smith or A.J. Brown, they need a couple of deep shots. And ultimately, on the defensive side, they need to put pressure on Mahomes. They need quite a few QB hits. We'll see how good his ankle is. And I think if they can get at least 3+ sacks, they'll have a really good chance in this game.
I got 2 things. I think the Eagles need to win the turnover battle. They've been great at that all season. I think they need to continue that against the Chiefs. And the second thing, they need to be patient. I think the Chiefs are very well coached. I think they will have a great game plan, especially in the first half. And maybe it's not until the second half that the Eagles' talent can take over and have some adjustments to their game plan to take control of the game. So be patient, wait for the second half, and win the turnover battle.
So some underrated matchups I see for the Eagles would be DeVonta Smith. I think there's going to be a lot of attention on A.J. Brown. Spags has been known to double up on some receivers, and I think DeVonta Smith is always kind of the forgotten one who could take the top off the defense. So watch for a shot play there. And then on the Chiefs side, McKinnon, the most valued back here because of what he can do, running, passing, protection-wise, but I don't think it's him. I really think it's Pacheco. And he's been running really hard. I think he can do some damage, and I think it's something that's, it's on the back burner and needs to have some attention for sure.
Yeah, mine are similar to yours. The McKinnon and Pacheco running backs for Kansas City need to play a big part in this game if Kansas City has a chance to win, even if it's for dump passes, but also for helping protect against that Philly defensive line.
Mine, I got Jason Kelsey against Chris Jones. The Eagles' O-line is truly one of the greatest O-lines of all time, and Chris Jones is top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year voting this year. Watch our honors show to see who we picked. And I think that's going to be a really good matchup. It could be a big factor in this game, especially when the O-line and the D-line get tired near the second half. I think that's going to be an underrated matchup.
My pick for winner of Super Bowl 57 are the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're too talented across the board. They've 16-1 with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Jalen Hurts is playing this game, sore shoulder or not. I think he'll have a pretty good game. But I think it'll be close for the first half, and then the Eagles will pull away in the second half. So if I was to pick a score, I would think the Eagles win 38-26. That's my final score.
Pretty dominant win.
Yep, they pull away in the second half.
So I have a few facts here about this game. The last 6 times that the Eagles and Chiefs played each other, Andy Reid won all of them. The Eagles won the first 3 with Andy Reid, and the Chiefs won the next 3 with Andy Reid. Also, the Eagles are playing after the 49ers game. Teams after playing the Niners are 1-14 the next week. Anybody remember that fact from the regular season?
Yeah.
And everybody says that the Eagles got it easy because they played the Giants and the 49ers without a QB. But didn't the 49ers have the number 1 defense? And didn't the Eagles put up 31 points against them? And also, the refs in the Chiefs-Bengals game literally gave the Chiefs a free play. Huh? My pick for the 2022 to 2023 Super Bowl champs is also the Philadelphia Eagles. People say that Mahomes is better than Hurts because Hurts gets a talented team and Mahomes doesn't. Well, yeah, Hurts gets a talented team, so the talented team is going to win. Eagles win it.
What's your score prediction for the game?
I'm going to go 31-28. Andy Reid keeps it close.
Nice.
Well, I always think it's bad luck for me to pick the score and the winner. I try not to every week, even if there's a poll, who wins this game. I think ultimately I'll defer to the Madden simulation. They have the Eagles winning 31-17. However, I think it's going to be a little closer. I still think as long as Hurts can participate in that running game, it's going to be really tough for the Chiefs to possess the ball long enough to do any damage to the defense. And I honestly think Gannon's going to make sure he doesn't take the top off with whatever receiving core they have out there. So I still think the Eagles prevail, and hopefully celebrating after the game.
If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, will this be the greatest season in Philly history?
Hands down. I think this is the best season that I've ever seen, surprisingly. And I think, it'll be tough to maintain because next year's schedule is going to be a lot tougher. But, yeah, this will definitely go down as the greatest Eagles team ever.
Well, they got one more game to go. Let's see.
And we can all be a meme if the Chiefs win. For the final game's bold pick, I have the Eagles D-line feasting on Mahomes because that Chiefs O-line will get tired. I have 5 sacks on Mahomes. A few years ago when the Bucs played the Chiefs, Bucs always got pressure, won that game easily. I think the Eagles are also going to get pressure here, but not as easy of a win.
My bold prediction would be not only 2 rushing touchdowns for Jalen Hurts, but he will run for over 100 yards as well.
Wow. That's a good one.
I have something similar. One of my keys to the Chiefs' victory was holding the running game in check. I don't think it's going to happen. I expect the Eagles will have over 200 yards rushing and a couple of rushing TDs in this game.
So now we can be an even bigger meme if the Chiefs win.
My MVP choice for the game would be Jalen Hurts because of my bold prediction. And I do think, although Mahomes could have a better game, the victory team gets the MVP, which is Hurts.
Yeah, I'm going with the odds too. Eagles victory, quarterback for the Eagles. I think Hurts gets the MVP.
Spoiler alert coming in quick. Hurts was my MVP pick, but he's not my Super Bowl MVP pick. I have Hassan Reddick as my Super Bowl MVP. Eagles get 5 sacks with my bold prediction, and I think Hassan Reddick is going to get quite a few of those.
All right, for our special guest question this week, obviously it's Eagles based. The Eagles have had a great season, like we just said, maybe one of their best ever. But this offseason will no doubt bring changes. What do you foresee for the offseason, win or lose, for the Eagles?
Well, I think I counted 20 free agents, or definitely possibly 20 free agents, 18 for sure. Some of them are complete walk, no strings attached. Some of them have some voidable years to those contracts. Quite a few on the defensive line, I believe 6. We've got Hargrave, Cox, Brandon Graham even coming up. On the offensive line, there's of course Kelsey, Seumalo. And when it comes to the backfield of the defense, you got both linebackers, White, and we also have TJ Edwards. Of course, there's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. We've got James Bradbury. So Howie's really going to have to work his magic this year to keep as much of this team together as possible, keeping in mind the number one priority right now, and just recently with Jeffrey Lurie's comments, is to lock up Jalen Hurts. He'll get paid handsomely, probably north of $50 million, is what most people are thinking. So beyond that, I think, from a priority perspective, I think Bradbury's definitely a priority. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They're going to have to re-sign at least one of those linebackers. There's Nakobe Dean waiting in the background as well to start in his second year. Ultimately, I think it'll be up to Kelsey whether or not he wants to come back. Fingers crossed he does. But, there's a lot going on there, and I think they're really going to have to take a look at mainly the defensive side of the ball. When it comes to the draft, I think ultimately they'll address the defensive line, most likely with a tackle. And I think eventually they'll have to draft another running back. Both Sanders and Scott are free agents as well.
Well, they were very busy last offseason, and it sounds like they have another busy offseason coming up.
Yeah, it'll be Howie season, as we call it.
Yeah, interesting to watch.
How will he do it?
Nice. Without further ado, let's get to our very popular segment, Aydens Top 5.
For the final 5, we have the top 5 game winners. Our honorable mention, we have the number 1 pick from last week, and the Jags pick 6 in overtime, walk-off touchdown for the defense, upset the Cowboys. Number 5, we have the Jags against the Giants with 5 seconds left. Oh, is he in? Is he in? It's a no. The Giants win with a tackle at the 1-yard line. The Super Bowl Titans Ram all over again. Number 4, in overtime, we have Josh Jacobs, 86 yards to the house to upset the Seahawks at home. Number 3, we have in overtime as well, another Raiders, but this time doesn't go as well. Fumble, picked up by Byron Murphy, runs it all the way back for the second defensive touchdown of this top 5. And honorable mention. Number 2, a very boring game, nobody watched it until this part, where it was a punt return touchdown for the win in regular time. Marcus Jones to the house. Patriots versus Raiders as the number 1 game winner. Let's see what'll happen. Stevenson gets a good run, hands it off to Myers, who then throws it back, and Ron Jones stiff arms him all the way back for a touchdown. Jacoby, you could have just gone to overtime. That's it for the top 5. I hope you liked that segment.
Maybe there'll be more lists coming in the off season. All right, for this week's last question, it's my turn to ask Aiden. So, Pro Bowl is done. Offseason has started for most of the teams. We've heard Aaron Rodgers could be looking for a new team. We've heard definitely Derek Carr is looking for a new team somehow. Maybe Lamar Jackson, his contract is up. Don't know what's going to happen there yet. What quarterback do you think is going to make a move this offseason and have the biggest splash next year?
I'm going to have to go with the obvious Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to go to a different team. I'm not sure which one. I can't picture him in a different uniform than the Ravens. But I think that if he gets some receiver help and a good offense, I think that he could really shine on his new team.
All right. That wraps up this week's show.
In a few weeks, we will be doing a season recap. Stay tuned for that and more off-season videos.
See how we did with our initial picks before the season even started. How close we were or how far we were. Special thanks to our guest, Dave Carroll, for his insights on the Eagles in Super Bowl week.
Let's go, Philly.
See ya.
Subscribe.